Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and it's about 15 minutes until the Queer Lit Readathon starts in my time zone. I've been loving watching people's updates on their day one all day while I go, it's still not the time for the readathon where I live. But that's what I get for living on the west coast of Canada. And originally I figured that I would probably go to bed and wake up in the morning and start this readathon, but then I remembered that it's quarantine times and time means nothing and I can stay up a little late to read a little bit, so that's what I'm going to do. As soon as we tick over to midnight, I'm going to start reading Whiskey Days Coffee Nights, which is my poetry collection, which is also an arc I got from NetGalley a while ago and should have read a while ago, but specifically saved it because I wouldn't have any poetry otherwise. Oh, hello Nom. Are you coming to help? What are you reading at midnight? It sounds fascinating. So I'm gonna get myself some juice or some water and basically sit on the couch and wait for it to be midnight. You can also probably tell that I wasn't planning on vlogging because I look a hot mess, but that's how all of my readathon vlogs start, right? I'm just on brand, it's fine. Are you gonna help me read this poetry, Nom? Is that your plan? I'll allow it. And we've just switched over to midnight, so let's read some poetry. That was a lot shorter than I was expecting. It is not even 12:30 and I finished the book. It was formatted really weirdly, so I thought it was going to be a lot longer than it was, but it wasn't. So Cyrus Parker is a non-binary poet. They are married to Amanda Lovelace. That might explain kind of the style of poetry. It's very similar. It's also not my favorite, but what's discussed in the poetry is so heartfelt and important that I feel bad giving it a bad rating. A lot of the poetry is very conversational as opposed to crafted, if that makes any sense. But I can appreciate the themes in it, which is why I don't want to bash it at all. Essentially, this turned out to be a very quick chapbook type of poetry, and it checks off things on my list. I didn't really think this through because I didn't think I was going to finish something on the first day of the Queer Lit Readathon, which means that the video I have coming out tomorrow, my May wrap up, is technically wrong. Anything I finish reading today is just gonna have to count for June. That's just what we're doing. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I spent some time updating my reading spreadsheet and that type of thing. Now I'm gonna go to bed so I can get up in the morning, do my weekly wrap up, and read my face off. Hello, it's the morning. I look a little bit better than the last time you saw me, I think. So I just filmed my weekly wrap up. Now I have to go and edit that and then put it up and caption it and put it live and all that good stuff. And then the rest of the day is just reading. That's what I'm gonna do. I really want to get through my TBR, and my reading hasn't been the greatest in the last little while, so I'm going to push myself to try. I haven't decided if I'm going to start Finna, which is my novella, or if I'm going to try to crack out one of the webcomics that I'm working on. For the webcomics, I have no idea if they're A, still ongoing, or B, how long they are, so I kind of figure that as long as I read at least 30 updates from each one of them, I can count them as read. I'm going to want to read more, but also time constraints, 1 week. If there's 700 entries long, I'm not gonna commit myself to reading 700 entries. As long as the rep that I'm counting them for is actually in the updates that I read, I figure it works. But I've got work to do, so let's go. This is just a quick update, but I've now finished both of the webcomics I was reading. One of them only had 23 updates, and the other one I finished just all of it. There were about 100 updates, but I read them all because why not, I could. And I also started Finna, which is very funny and very sarcastic and, you know, kind of awkward because the two main characters just broke up recently and now they have to work together. So I'm really enjoying that, but my roommate has some people coming over. We're gonna sit 6 feet apart from each other in the backyard and talk, so I feel like I have to do that for a little bit before I go back to reading. Hello, it's about end of the night and I'm about halfway through Finna. I'm really enjoying these two characters. I'm really enjoying the adventure. It's such an outlandish premise that I just had to read it. And I might continue reading, but this is the last point in the evening that I'm gonna be near my camera, so I just figured I'd give you that update. All in all, it was a really good first day of the Queer Lit Readathon, and I'm looking forward to keeping up this momentum and finishing my whole TBR. Hi, good morning. I've had kind of an eventful morning so far. I'm dressed up because I'm doing an Instagram takeover on the Farm Pride account, so that should still be on their account if you want to go see it when you see this vlog. Because obviously it's happening now for me today, but you will be seeing this in the future. But while I was getting ready this morning, my roommate's cat had a medical emergency, so she's at the vet now. I'm anxiously waiting to hear what's going on with her. So that was a little bit freaky, but I've calmed myself down. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna recommend some queer books to people, and then I'm gonna get back to my reading. Okay, that was intense. I spent like an hour just recommending queer books on their Instagram stories, and that was really, really fun. So that's going to be archived. There's going to be highlights on their page, so definitely be sure to check that out. But now I'm finally gonna get some reading done because I would really love to see how Finna ends. Hello, so update. I have finished Finna. I had some lunch. I've mostly just been scrolling on my phone and retweeting and resharing many people of color at this point because obviously this is a time and those people need to be heard and nobody needs to hear my voice, but I need to amplify other people's voices with my privilege, so that's what I've been doing. I've also made one donation. I plan on hopefully doing more donations. I'm currently out of a job, so there's that, but I'm going to do what I can. And it just felt really disingenuous to continue doing this vlog as though that wasn't happening in the world right now, so I wanted to put that out there. Also, my co-host and I decided that we were going to stay pretty quiet on the social media, that we would continue to share things about the Black Lives Matter movement, but that we weren't going to be overly verbose about the readathon, outside of liking people's things and retweeting them and that type of thing, because there are other things to be focusing on right now besides this readathon. I just wanted to put that out there because it's not something I had mentioned in this vlog yet, but I will have some resources down in the description below, and yeah, just wanted to make sure that that was said. So today I started listening to The Past and Other Things That Should Stay Buried, which is not on my TBR, but I just needed an audiobook for the week, and I also started reading This Is What It Feels Like, and so far I'm intrigued by the different characters, but I'm not very far in because I had other things going on today. So I'm gonna read a little bit before I go to bed, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Hi, it's Wednesday. As you saw, I elected to not vlog yesterday, so be sure to check all of the description for the links that I mentioned before in the vlog and just ways that you can help. Part of me feels like I shouldn't even be vlogging at all, given that people are being murdered because of the color of their skin in America. I'm hoping that by putting out this vlog, I am able to amplify the voices of people that need to be heard with this platform that I have. On a personal note, I'm also pretty bummed out because Nom, the cat you saw at the beginning of this video, has now passed away. So that's something I'm dealing with. And part of me feels conflicted about even saying that because obviously there are other things going on in the world. Human beings are being murdered. But I contain multitudes. I can be outraged and upset about more than one thing at a time. I can be happy and prideful about this event at the same time. We're allowed to feel more than one thing at a time. As for my reading yesterday, I finished This Is What It Feels Like, which was the group book. I really enjoyed this. The only part I didn't really enjoy was there were some chapters from this character named Elliot, who is not part of the story by the time the story starts, and they didn't really add anything besides like a little bit of background that we didn't particularly need, and especially not from that point of view character. So that was a little bit weird to me, but the rest of the book I very, very much enjoyed. I've got a few things to do today. This morning my Queer Booktubers Recommend Queer Books video went live. It is almost an hour long. It is fully captioned. It has almost 30 booktubers and almost 60 book recommendations, so if you haven't seen it, that will be linked down below with everything else. So before I even got out of bed, I was sharing that around. I was signing more petitions as I found them. I was sharing more resources on Twitter and Instagram. Now I need to do my daily yoga because my body needs it. After that, I will be picking up The Disasters. I'm very excited to finally get to it. I've been putting it off for this readathon specifically, which means I will have a physical book to read in my bathtub, which hasn't happened in about a month. Most of my reading has been digital. All of my reading last month, with the exception of one book, was digital, because we live in COVID-influenced times. In a couple of hours, I'll also be joining my friends over on Quarantine Pages so we can read silently for an hour, so I'm excited for that. I'm always excited for that. Thursday morning and I only have about 60 pages left of The Disasters. I wanted to finish it last night, but I started getting sleepy, and you know, when you start falling asleep and like, this deserves my full attention, so I'm gonna finish it this morning. After this, I only have one book left, which is called Twice in a Lifetime. That one, I believe, has to do with two cops that fall in love, which is not something I would have picked if I had picked my TBR knowing the current state of the world. Hopefully, like, they just happen to be cops and that's not a big threat of it, or if it is, it talks about institutional racism. That would be great. But obviously I made my TBR a while ago, so if it does become too much of an issue, I will just look for a different book that features female characters over 40. So update on Twice in a Lifetime. I was very scared that this was going to be like two white protagonists and I was gonna have to nope out of it. The main character is Jewish and her love interest is black, and only one of them is actually a cop. The other one is kind of her assistant, and she's like the community liaison. So they do a lot of community events and basically she schedules them, and then the other one is the cop that actually goes to these events. So because of the diversity and because of the talk of different people identifying different ways and our main character realizing or fully coming out as bi, she knew she was bi but she'd been married to a man for a very long time type of thing, I'm feeling okay about reading this. It has very little to do with actual police work, which makes it a lot easier to read in this climate. I'm really enjoying it so far. There have been some great discussions of, well, do you actually know you're bi? And the character coming back with, yes, I know my own feelings, thank you very much. So I was glad that was shot down because that's a question bi people hear a lot of, and it's crap. So I'm about halfway through that. I'm really enjoying it. I'm probably going to finish it. Probably not tonight, but maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow, my plan is to watch all of the 5th season of Queer Eye because it's dropping, and I just plan on crying for hours and then maybe finishing this book if I haven't already. Which means I will have completed my entire TBR by Friday night, which is great. Especially because I'm listening to a bonus audiobook, so I feel like my reading is going really great. Of course, there was that one webcomic that was only 23 updates, so it feels like cheating even though it's not, so there's that. But yeah, I'm making good progress and I feel very good about that. This might seem like a silly thing to identify with, but our two protagonists are going to an aquarium on kind of a secret date because one's the boss, one isn't, so like they kind of have to pretend they're not dating while they're in public because it could be detrimental to their careers. But I have also been in an aquarium with a girl that I was not quite dating, but like there was a huge flirtation, but it was a secret thing. So I'm having flashbacks, and you know, it's cute because that was a fun time. Good morning, it's Friday, and last night I finished my TBR for the Queer Lit Readathon, which totally frees me up to watch Queer Eye today, which was my plan anyway, so I'm so happy about that. So I'm gonna do a little yoga because I need to do that for my chronic pain, and then I'm debating whether or not I'm gonna go grab some snacks or if I'm just gonna go right into watching the show. I elected to bake some pierogies while I'm just getting set up to watch the first episode. That way I feel good about the fact that I remembered to eat, but I also didn't have to leave the house to go get anything. Unless I counted wrong, I think there's 10 episodes this season, which I'm pretty sure is 2 more than we usually get, although I could be wrong, but I'm just very excited. My pierogies are almost done. I have juice. It's gonna happen. I've got pierogies, I've got juice, I've got curry mayo in lieu of sour cream because I'm lactose intolerant, and now I got Queer Eye. Hello, it's Saturday morning, which is the last day of the Queer Lit Readathon. Yesterday, Friday, I watched 10 episodes of Queer Eye, and then I watched 7 episodes of RuPaul Season 4 because apparently I was just living my best gay life. It has been a very long time since I just let myself consume media on the couch like that all day long, just having snacks and enjoying it and crying because Queer Eye always makes me cry. It was frankly wonderful, and it was kind of a break I needed. So today I might start pre-reading for Read Your Gaze because that's coming up next week, or I might just edit this vlog together and finish the Sean David Hutchinson book I've been listening to because I need to finish an audiobook for this week, and also I have Quarantine Pages at some point today, so I'm sure I will do that as well. I just wanted to say, obviously the tone of this readathon was very different this time around, but thank you for anyone who did participate. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. If you didn't see it, I did post a couple of recommendation lists of queer black books, either that I've read or am reading next week in the case of the first post, or queer black books that are being published this year, so I will link both of those down below. They're both on the Queer Lit Instagram account, and I felt it was important to share queer black voices. As I mentioned, there will be many resources down in the links below, so make sure to check those out before you click out of this video. If you've read any of the books I've talked about in this video, please let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment but want to make sure that I know you're here, just leave me an emoji or a smiley face if you're on your keyboard. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye.